On March 2nd, 2018, Russell Wilson stepped up to the plate in a spring training game for the New York Yankees. Yes, Super Bowl winning quarterback Russell Wilson. He faced Max Fried, a future multi-time All-Star and World Series champion pitcher for the Atlanta Braves. And of course, Fried struck Russ out because one of these two plays baseball a lot more than the other. And even if this was a spring training game that technically didn't count, it made Russell Wilson the most recent player to suit up and play for both an NFL team and a Major League Baseball team, which never ever happens anymore, which is interesting because it used to be such a more common thing, but now it's like spotting Bigfoot that an NFL player is taking hacks off a big league arm on an actual baseball field in a game. And too bad Kyler Murray cucked us all into thinking he was going to be trying it before sticking with football full time. Welcome everyone, my name is Icyvert, and today I want to pose a simple thought to you all. Deion Sanders, Bo Jackson, Brian Jordan, Jim Thorpe, Danny Ainge. Well, these are all names that have something in common with one another, believe it or not. In fact, there are many other athletes that fit this category with ease, and I'll stop tiptoeing around it because I assume you all have read the title. The two-sport athlete is an art form. It is an elite club, as well as being the pinnacle of athletic ability. However, at this moment in time, the two-sport athlete is completely dead. I grew up hearing all about these guys like Bo and Deion that excelled in two major pro sports at the same time, and stories like Deion Sanders shooting up for the Falcons and the Braves in the same day, or Danny Ainge being a two-time NBA champion with the Celtics, who also played 3 seasons with the Toronto Blue Jays. But oh my god, that feels like such an ancient thing, right? Like, that only happened in myths way before my time watching and following sports. And sure, there may be guys who dabble in high school or college, and of course you'll find stories like Tim Tebow, who played in minor league baseball for a few seasons only after giving up professional football though. But you never see two-sport athletes the way those elite guys did it, playing two sports professionally at the same exact time, or, well, do you? The dual-sport professional athlete may be a thing of the past, but who have been the guys that have tried to keep it alive after all these years in the modern era? Well, here are some of the most noteworthy guys in the 21st century who have been professionals in two sports at the same time. And yes, I know this is extremely specific criteria, but I want to find the guys most like these legends of old. Deion Sanders even technically played in both MLB and the NFL since 2000, but by this point he was quitting one to go back to the other, and that will not count here. We gotta show just who's been up to this remarkable task of simultaneous careers in two different professional sports in a world where it doesn't even seem real to do it anymore. And well, technically, Mookie Betts is one of the last of this dying breed.
Pulls it sharply. Mookie makes the play. Right field, second base, it doesn't matter. Gold Glove caliber.
You know Mookie Betts. He's a 3-time World Series champion and counting, a 2018 American League MVP, and not a hot take, he's a future first ballot Hall of Famer, whether you like it or not. Well, he once had 2 fans at Yankee Stadium try to rip off his glove during the World Series, and Mookie Betts, yes, that Mookie Betts, has also been a professional bowler throughout his professional baseball career. Bowling is in fact a professional sports too, and who do you think I am? Sorry. Mookie participated in the 2017 World Series of Bowling and the 2023 US Open Bowling Tournament. Both of these right after the seasons when he finished top 6 in the MVP voting in baseball. And oh yeah, he bowled a 300 in the 2017 World Series of Bowling. In a way, we don't talk about this enough with Mookie, and it usually just comes down to, oh yeah, Mookie Betts likes bowling and he's actually pretty good at it. We never really do it justice that he's a capable professional bowler at the same time as getting all these incredible baseball achievements that he has. Sure, he's definitely way better at baseball and he's gonna be in the Hall of Fame, but this is also a professional athlete in an entirely separate sport requiring an entirely different skill set and training. So yeah, Mookie Betts, well, I think he's a true two-sport athlete. Mark Hendrickson's journey as a two-sport athlete may not have had the fanfare of some others, but his career is a testament to perseverance and versatility, and he's the last man to play in both the NBA and MLB. Standing at 6'9", he first made his mark in basketball, where he played 4 seasons in the NBA from 1996 to 2000. He played as a power forward for the Philadelphia 76ers, the Sacramento Kings, the New Jersey Nets, and the Cleveland Cavaliers, where he averaged 3.3 points and 2.8 rebounds per game over 100 214 games. However, it was on the baseball field where he found greater career longevity. After pitching in the minor leagues throughout his NBA career, he'd eventually transitioned full-time to baseball. Hendrickson was a left-handed pitcher and enjoyed a 10-year Major League Baseball career from 2002 to 2011. He played for the Toronto Blue Jays, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Florida Marlins, and the Baltimore Orioles, and over his MLB career, Hendrickson posted a 58-74 record with a 5.03 ERA across 382 career games, with 166 of those being starts. He started opening day for the Marlins in 2008, but his best season came in 2004 with the Devil Rays, where he recorded a career-high 11 wins, and while not a superstar, his ability to carve out a decade-long career in baseball after leaving professional basketball is nothing short of remarkable. And speaking of just purely remarkable things, did you know that there was an active Major League Baseball player who also happened to take home over $27,000 of prize money in competing in rodeo throughout his career? Rodeo, the competitive equestrian sport, was also making an MLB player money. And this rodeo athlete, well, his name was Mason Saunders. But you probably know him by his baseball name of Madison Bumgarner. Madison Bumgarner, a 4-time All-Star pitcher, a 3-time World Series champ who put the Giants on his back and near single-handedly won them the 2014 World Series. Well, he was also a professional team roper in rodeo. He did prefer to keep this on the down low, and he used a fake name after all, but shortly before spring training in 2020, the story broke, and the world found out that Madison Mason Saunders Bumgarner was a rodeo competitor. Naturally, the man who just invested crazy money into him pitching for the Arizona Diamondbacks was asked about what he thought of his high-paid pitcher, more on that later by the way, being a professional athlete in a second sport at the same time. The verdict? Well, the D-backs won't tell their players what they can and cannot do, which hey, if you ask me, is pretty sweet. On the baseball field after this though, he was a net negative performance-wise, and it was almost like this story was a turning point in his baseball career. Even if he was robbed of a 7-inning complete game no-hitter counting during the 2021 season, here's what may be the coolest wrinkle in Mad Bum's dual sport career. If you go to his baseball reference page, you can see the total earnings he has in his baseball career. And it says over $128 million US that he earned throughout his MLB career, and that is completely accurate. And his baseball reference page also includes 2 prize money winnings from rodeo, one in 2013 and one in 2019. And they did not have to do that, but they did, and it is so good. Tom Zbikowski played 5 years in the NFL as a safety with the Ravens and Colts. He played recently enough to be teammates with Joe Flacco and Andrew Luck. He had 126 total NFL tackles, 2 sacks, and 3 interceptions. While still an active member of the Baltimore Ravens, he had 3 professional boxing matches. And these fights were no joke either. 2 of them were the MGM Grand in Las Vegas and the Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City. Imagine being the other fighter in these matches, having to box a dude who was literally on the same defense as Ray Lewis and Ed Reed at the same time. Better yet, Zbikowski won all 3 of his matches that took place while he was an active, rostered NFL player. He's also 8-0 as a pro boxer in his lifetime. He played 8 games for the Ravens in 2010, had 3 pro fights in the span of a month and a half that offseason, then played in 2 playoff games for the Ravens in the very next season, and that's pretty damn awesome if you think about it. He wasn't a total no-name football player during his time either. He was drafted 86th overall in 2008 out of Notre Dame, and one thing's for sure, whether an NFL player or opposing professional boxer right around 2011, good luck if you got hit by this guy. And personally, as someone who loves video games, it is now an official policy of this video that esports counts as a sport. And you know, video games are fun, they're difficult, they're exciting, and they can get up to a high level. And now ESPN even considers them a sport.
I'm gonna say yes, it is a sport. I do know who Ninja.
You say to me, you
So, meet Boston Scott. 4 seasons deep into the NFL career with the Philadelphia Phillies, 14 touchdowns deep into his career as well, he signed a contract to be a professional esports player. And his game of choice, well, it was Rocket League, one of the best competitive games out there, and that is my personal opinion, but I'm gonna even say it's a damn fact. Anyways, it wasn't just some gimmick contract either on their side. Boston Scott was a top 0.052% player in the world in Rocket League at the time, which is a game with nearly 6 million plus active players. And I don't want to do the math, but that means he's like super damn good. And if I'm correct, I believe he's Supersonic Legend in rank, if anyone is familiar with Rocket League and how that works. So Boston Scott, a professional esports player and NFL player at the same time, suited back up for the Eagles in 2022 as the first ever two-sport athlete of that kind that we really know of. He scored 2 touchdowns during the Eagles playoff run that year and even played in the Super Bowl while also being a real-life professional video game player for an actual esports team. And for Boston Scott, well, he's still trying to hang on to the NFL today, and he was most recently on the Pittsburgh Steelers practice squad this past season, but to my knowledge, he is the most recent new two-sport professional athlete in major pro sports. He's also the first of his kind merging esports with a major old-school professional sport, proving that we can innovate and find new ways to keep two-sport athletes alive in society. But for now, these 5 seem to be the best we can do in sports in the 21st century. And well, why is that? Well, stating the obvious here, being an athlete is really damn hard, let alone being a professional athlete at any level. The indescribable amount of hours spent training, practicing, and playing are far more than the average person could ever really dream of. And only the top fraction, a fraction way smaller than 1%, make it to the professional ranks in each sport. So you gotta be really damn good, commit a lot of training, and be mindlessly dedicated to your sport to become a professional. Okay, so now imagine that and double it, and don't pass it to the next one, just keep it to yourself. You have to put all those hours in for 2 sports. And sure, some people are physically talented and gifted enough to just be good at sports, but even these top athletes cannot fathom or dream of doing this in 2 different sports. And it's not like high school anymore where you also have classes and a social life and, I don't know, playing Fortnite on the side, because as a professional athlete, your life revolves around your sport, and it is tough to ask for 1, but 2 is way more than many can handle. And personally for me, growing up, I played maybe 3 to 4 different sports year round, but really none of them ever came at the same time. And for some of these athletes, they are playing these sports at the same time at the highest level, and I cannot even dream of not only doing that, but wanting to do that, because the amount of hours it would take them to stay on top of their craft seems mind-numbing. So all the respect to these guys. We also, now more than ever, deal with the perception that child athletes should pick one sport and stick with it for the long haul. Deion Sanders talked about having both sides tell him this as an adult during his career, and imagine being 10 years old having that kind of pressure now. The most common reasons for doing this are either putting all that time that could be spent training and getting better into just one sport, kind of like that issue we were just talking about, and to keep kids from being injured due to multi-sport workloads. Doctors actually are against this, and they believe kids become stronger, healthier, and more well-balanced athletes by developing through multiple sports, but doctors aren't the ones in charge of the kids here, obviously. And it's showing that we are trending towards fewer and fewer multi-sport kids, let alone multi-sport adults. The pipeline of guys who could take up the mantle of a Bo Jackson for their generation is now thinning. It may make the legend of guys from the past generations who achieved stardom in multiple sports all the more special, and it might also become even more ridiculous and alien of a concept to each new generation of kids. All we can do is hope that as time goes on, we are fortunate enough to find more and more skilled people, dedicated and mentally sound enough to get back into the multi-sport grind at the highest levels, and we should appreciate anyone who pulls this off in the future more than ever before. However, as we all know, this seems unlikely to happen, so we can always appreciate the guys of the past more now than we have ever before. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and please leave a comment below if you were a multi-sport athlete in about 5th or 6th grade, just like I was, because I would like to compare my skills to yours. All right, I'll catch you guys.